to get over that.
Well, we will work on that. So
I can help you with that.
yeah, this is high level. We're talking high level
Good.
agent attraction. And you know, you're watching this after the fact. I'm hanging out with Donna, and then Danielle's on this side. We got George over here. And we're really looking at how do we build a incredible recurring revenue stream.
Yeah.
That's, you know, 10,000, 15, 20,000 a month or more, and do it within the next 18 months. Is that all right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. So it's very doable. Many have done it. I did it. And I don't even meet the profile of a recruiter. Although I did have a big database on my side, you know. So what I want to do here, I want to just kind of talk. I want you to just ask any questions you have and be able to answer those, and then help you with more of a high level thinking in terms of agent attraction. Before we do though, I have a question for you. What's your freedom number in terms of the amount? If you had this amount coming in every month, you would have more freedom. Like you would like, what's your monthly nut, that the base amount that you would need monthly?
Wow, you're supposed to really think big, right? Dream big, right? So you hate to always minimize what
That's not what this is. This is not a dream big. You know, we're all going to be making $1 million a month. That's not what this is. This is what's your monthly nut? Like, what is your, like, this is the amount. If I had this coming in every month, I would have a little more freedom, like this will cover all my expenses. This amount.
So the amount is, it's funny that you say that because I figured that out a few days ago, actually. The amount is $25,000 a month.
Okay.
That would make me feel, that certainly is not going to allow me to, well, it will allow me to retire, but that'll make things really comfortable as a secondary income for sure.
Okay. So with that, we're building, let me see, 25,000. Here. Oh, that's a month. So that's 300,000 a year. Divided, let me see. Yeah, so we got to get you a revenue share. So my freedom number is 600 agents. For you, it's going to take about 420, 450 in your organization. In your organization.
Not just your front line.
No.
Yeah. And I'll show you,
good, Danielle.
yeah, I'll show you how to get there. It's not hard at all. But before that, let's just start with you. What have you been seeing? What questions are you having?
It's not so much, well, it's really, how do you get away from that MLM, idea that people have? Oh, that's a multi-level marketing type of thing. I know I can respond to that somewhat intelligently, because we actually have a product that we're selling. We sell real estate. It's not just a membership that you keep joining up. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is how do I encourage, there's a lot of brokers out there that want to do their own thing or not be a part of a box type of company.
Yeah.
And so, so how do we make eXp not a box type of company? So those are probably my two biggest questions.
The first one is, and this is the question I have a video, like a 3-minute video on as well. And the question is eXp an MLM? The answer is no, it's not an MLM. What eXp is a real estate company, but we have 3 different ways to generate revenue at eXp. And one of those ways to generate revenue is an MLM. Okay. There's no mistake about it. eXp itself is not an MLM. eXp is a real estate company. Now, when Glenn Sanford went out and looked at, and this is how I answer the question. When Glenn Sanford went out, so if you join eXp and you just want to sell real estate, like 88% of the agents at eXp do, only 12% have recruited one person, by the way. So 88% of people at eXp are here to sell houses, sell real estate. 12% are here more for the recruiting side. So it's almost 90% difference there. Now, the ones that are here selling real estate, they're just experiencing a better cap, a better split. They're experiencing the ability to earn 100% of their cap back in the form of stock. So they're making more than 100% in most cases. So from that standpoint, that's their side of it. Now, if you choose to become a recruiter, like I've chosen, and you choose to recruit agents, which is a choice, a conscious choice you make when you join, you don't have to. It's another track of revenue, another lane, another income stream. If you choose not to do that, that's okay too. Now, with that income stream, which is completely separate and distinct, what Glenn Sanford, who I believe is a genius, the founder of eXp, what he did was he said, how can I compensate agents the most for helping the company grow? So he looked at all the models in all company models. He looked at, there's so many different models of how you can run a company. And what he discovered was that the direct marketing model was the most lucrative model for the agent. In other words, the agent would make more money with the direct marketing model, snapping that into that piece, into that revenue stream, than any other model that he looked at in the world. There's no other model that will pay you like the direct marketing model. So he just stole the direct marketing model and he implemented that within the revenue share division of our business. We also have stock awards, which is another revenue stream path. So we have three. You have revenue share, you have production, and you have stock. Now, if you choose to operate like a Remax or other companies, then you just ignore the other two. The stock you really can't ignore because you get that awarded whether you like it or not. And most people like having free get stock. I mean, it doesn't cost anything. So that explains the MLM piece. If you can find a better way to compensate agents, we'd love to know about it. Because we give away 50% of the revenue, not stock, not profit, of the revenue. $1 comes in, 50 cents goes back to the agents. By the way, it's only going to 12% of the agents right now. But everybody can participate. And that's why we have people here that are making, $5,000 a month, 10,000, 20, 30, 40, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, which I can show you, guys within our organization that are making 100, and within our organization that are making $1 million a month. So, but you couldn't do that if you didn't adopt the direct marketing model. So I love it, because it pays me more.
Yeah. And I think that is probably, that was the game changer that I had, my mind switched to when I decided to reach out to George from the first time that he took us out for lunch. I think that it's going to combine what I did at the brokerage that I built for somebody else and the industry that I love so much in real estate, right? So it's going to take that, and I want to build a business as opposed to just transactional. So obviously we'll continue to sell, but this has got to be where I want to be, a Knolly and above, where people are calling and asking me to be doing, this kind of conversation to recruit and help them build. So that's really kind of my focus and my drive. So I really need to put together something that comes from me, leveraging you and your knowledge and putting things together to start really hammering the recruiting side.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me give you some examples, and I think I've shared this with you before, but I want to show you a couple things. I'm going to give you these examples of what I'm talking about. So let me go. I'm going to share my desktop.
Okay, good. Thanks.
So this is an example of what I'm talking about with this what some people would consider multi-level marketing, which means you do have a variety of levels that you get paid on. Some people get paid on one level. I don't like that. I like to get paid as much as possible. So in this example, this is Kevin Kaufman, And this is years ago, actually. He shared this with me actually when I was looking at eXp. So he personally recruited 27 people. Okay, see right here.
Yep.
So that's how many he personally recruited, but yet his organization grew to 355, which meant that he was making real close to your freedom number, 23,000. Okay, so just imagine this for a minute. You recruit 27 people. I mean, that can be done over, a year, 2 years, whatever. But now you're making 23. Now his checks are bigger than that now, because what happens is it grows by itself. You just focus on your front line and making that as good as you can, but everything else happens on, by itself. Here's another example of his business partner, Fred. Up here, you can see that Fred personally recruited 18 people. He sponsored 18 people, which grew to 372. Not bad at all, which means that he was making 15,700 a month at that time, And then another example is Curtis Johnson. Now, Curtis, he recruited 61 people. You can see right here. That's how many he recruited personally, 61. Now, he did this over, I think this was over a 4-year period. So he was recruiting about one person a month, or 1.5 a month, I think is what it ended up being. But look how it grew. Now, he could have just been paid on 61 people. And if people don't like the MLM model and they prefer to just get paid on 61, that's up to, that could be an option maybe at another company. But with our company, you get paid on 3,000 people for recruiting 60. I think I like that model better. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now we're not.
So if he recruited 61.
Yeah.
And then they
recruited
2,900 and however what the difference.
right.
But
Okay,
he personally enrolled or sponsored 61 people. Okay.
Which is
Over, you're talking about 1 to 2 a month. That's not recruiter of the year. If he was at Keller Williams, he'd been fired as a team leader. You can't recruit one person a month at Keller Williams and retain your team leadership position. So that's all but it grows because depending on the people that you get, obviously he recruited recruiters, and this is very reflective. Now he's at the point of this, he was making 110,000 a month in residual revenue for recruiting 60 people. Now, when you think about that, if you did the real math on it, that would be, if you looked at 110,000 divided by 61, because that's kind of the real number. He's making 1,800 a month for every person he recruited, or you could say he's making 22,000 a year for each person he recruited. But basically, this is a 7-figure income.
Yeah.
Now, he just celebrated last week, reaching 8,500 people in his organization. And guess how many he has on his front line?
61.
61?
Like 59.
Oh, really? Wow.
But he's got 8,500 in his organization.
Yeah.
And this is the power that people don't understand about network marketing. Now, when you snap something that's one of the biggest retail items in America into a network marketing model, magic happens.
Yeah.
And people make stupid money, which is what he's making now. And so, and with minimal effort. I mean, he worked for 18 months to build that. 18 months. I call it the 2-year career. So that'd be
awesome.
Yeah, that's the piece about the the MLM and the potentiality around that. The cool thing is we're not having to teach people how to do anything new. We don't have any lotions or soaps. We don't have shampoos or products like that where you have to teach people the benefit of it. You're buying and selling real estate. It's just that instead of and by the way, all real estate models are pyramid. You can call it RE/MAX is a pyramid scheme. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Because the agents are at the bottom, right? So you got the agents, then you've got the broker, the local brokers, and then above them, you've got regional, then you've got corporate, and then you've got the owners, and then you've got Dave Liniger. And so it's a pyramid. The agents at the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
all eXp did was say, wait a minute, let's take the agent and move the agent from the bottom to the top. And then everything else is under the agent, the staff. We have over 2,500 staff members, maybe less now because we made layoffs, but we have a couple thousand staff to
Yeah.
support our people. So it's a real company, even though it's cloud-based.
Mhm.
We just don't have expenses like other companies do, so we can give back 50%.
Mhm.
If you think about it, eXp actually operates like a nonprofit because most companies don't have 50% profit, you know what I'm saying? And we're giving
Right.
away 50% of revenue.
Mhm.
And we're able to do it. We're super sustainable because we don't have the overhead, you know, to trip us up.
Yeah.
So that's the MLM piece. And if you explain it that way, if you explain it just from the standpoint of, you know, Glenn looked for the best model to compensate us, and this is the model that he just hijacked because it was the best model for compensation. That's it. But
Mhm.
that's where the similarities between MLM really end, except that you do get a referral fee. I call it like for every, I mean, agents have no problem making referral fees, but think about this for a minute. If you had an agent in Cincinnati that was a referral partner, you sent them somebody, and I always ask an agent, I said, would you collect a referral fee? They say, well, of course I would. Okay, well, that's kind of like a pyramid in a way, except it's just one level, and you're only getting compensated on that transaction. Now, let's say that person does a transaction with that same individual a year from now. Are you going to get compensated? No, right? Because now that's their client. You know, it's a one-time referral. So they might have that client for life for the rest of, and all their kids and grandkids and everything. They'll never make another dime. Well, with eXp, as these are referral fees. So I have now 329 agents, and I make a referral fee on every deal they do. And it doesn't come from them. It comes from
the company.
Yeah. So so that's how I explain that piece. The other question you asked was around what was the second question?
Yeah, the other question was how do we not be a box type
Oh, a
of
box. Yeah.
company?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to a couple of people, they don't want to join. Oh yeah,
Sure.
that's, you know, I want the
Sure.
uniqueness.
Yeah. So let's go back to that. So eXp, even though we're called a brokerage, I would challenge you to look at eXp as a platform. That's all it is. You run your broker. See, and this is, you know, I have Knolly Realty. Okay, I've got an LLC, and I've got the name and everything, and that's how I operate, Knolly Realty. Now, what I like to look at is eXp is like is basic. The platform, the operating system is eXp. Okay, but it's my company. So if I've got a computer, it might be an AMD chip, it might be Intel chip. Nobody cares how it's powered, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
All you know is you got a Dell, you know, you got a Lenovo. Okay, but what's it powered by? Who cares? It's Intel. Oh, it's AMD. Nobody cares the chip. eXp is the operating chip. That's it. You still have a Dell computer. So you operate, and that's how we allow you to operate, is we allow you to keep your logo, your colors, your branding, your marketing, everything. If your marketing is pink and black, it can be pink and black at eXp. And your name is big. The only requirements that we have, which are, because we're not a franchise. So I know when I was at Remax, they required the balloon to be 50% the size of my logo, or that I had to, you know, use these colors. Same thing at Keller Williams. We're not a franchise. So we have no requirements around branding and how you position yourself. We're a platform for you to operate from. Now think about this for a minute. Let's say I had Knolly Realty. That, by the way, that's an ego play. That's it. Because the only benefit that I would have by having Knolly Realty, screw eXp, I'm not doing any other company with that, is ego. Because just look at the example I just shown. Now, let's say I had Knolly Realty in Austin, Texas, which I know a lot of agents there. I could probably get 60 agents on my broker. How much would I be making with 60 agents? Okay. Could I grow to 300 or to 3,000 agents or 8,500 agents with 60? No.
Oh, no.
It's impossible. So now what you've done is you've taken whatever real estate brokerage you have and you have no borders. You've got agents in South Africa, India, you've got them in, wherever we are. You've got them in Cincinnati,
Mhm.
wherever you want to have agents. And so now I can still have Knolly Realty, but I can have agents everywhere, which I do have agents in India and South Africa. I couldn't do that with a local brokerage. And I guarantee you the revenue that a local brokerage would make with 20 agents or 25 or 30 agents pales in comparison to the revenue that you could make here with 20 agents or 25 or 30 agents at eXp. That's the reason why Chuck Fazio, who had 900 agents in his independent brokerage, joined eXp. That's the reason why Frank Gray, who had 438 agents, something like that, 437 agents out of Houston, joined eXp. It doesn't matter if they've got 20, 30, 50, 100, 200, 1,000 agents. They've all, agents at all those levels have joined us and bringing their independent brokerage onto the eXp platform. Now, guess what? You don't have to worry about your liability, E&O, all these agents. Now you don't have to worry about technology, the technology race, because technology is not decreasing, it's increasing. And you've got to, as an independent broker, you've got to stay on top of that. You've got to keep bringing, well, guess what? We do that for you. You don't have to worry about competing with iBuyers. We have an in-house iBuyer program where you can just join that. You don't have to be worried about figuring out how to get your agents with referral business from because we got 85,000 agents to refer to. You don't have to worry about relocation. We've got a division for that. We're going to create a relocation division in our 20-person brokerage. No, it's not feasible, but we have it already. So what you're doing is you're not losing identity. You're not losing anything. You're only gaining. There's only a plus with eXp. There's no loss. The only rules that we follow are the state rules.
Yeah.
So like I know in Oklahoma, they say that your logo has to be 50%, but we don't have those. Like in Texas, the eXp logo can be 10% the size of mine. Texas doesn't care. So there really isn't a loss of identity like you would get if you joined a big box like a Remax or a company or whatever.
Well, and I appreciate that. And I think if nothing else, what I did for the real estate brokerage that I really started from ground zero, and the solutions that we wanted to offer, that I wanted to be able to offer to buyers and sellers, I can bring that same concept in our world, like in the Dustman and the Lovato world and Hartzler world and down. And so, and that's through networking, meeting lenders, meeting investors, and building that, but within the platform of eXp. So
sure, absolutely. And this is what we say when we're talking to independent brokers, and I have a lot of training on independent brokers. I think I've sent you a few pieces.
I actually watched them. Good girl. Okay, good. My homework.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, it really is an ego risk for them. They have to come to the understanding that it's a partnership, and partnerships are difficult for people, but guess what? Now we're handling all your accounting, your books, your disbursement authorizations. I mean, all that crap that most brokers don't want to do anyway. We're doing all that for you. And within our organization, we have a couple of Will Gilliam brought his his brokerage with 22 agents, super profitable. He's making good money with that, but he brought all that into eXp about 3 years ago in our organization. And then Brian Allen is another one. He broke down crying on stage because he also had, a brokerage of 30 agents. He had the #1 independent brokerage in, I think it's Southeast Oklahoma. And he doing 100 million a year. But he was drowning. And the eXp has been the platform that he says was the salvation of his business. And so he is so grateful to be part of this. And so there is what independent brokers have to look at is you have to, the only way that you can, and this is not said out of disrespect, if you're watching this, in the next 3 to 5 years, the eXp model will be the prevalent model in real estate, period. You're going to have eXp and you're going to have 2 or 3 other companies that are like eXp. And that's going to be the real estate landscape. And the only way to compete with eXp is to copy us. So, and the way you can copy us, you're an independent broker. Here's how you can copy us. Very simple. Offer stock to your agents. Okay. Get on NASDAQ and start offering your agent stock on whenever they close a deal, whenever they bring somebody to your brokerage, you give them stock. Give them stock. Give your agents 50% of your revenue, and you can compete with us. I mean, you have $100 comes in, you give $50 back to your agents. You'll compete with us if you do that, and have the most revolutionary technology in the world, at your brokerage, and you're paying for that, or you're offering it at a very discounted fee to the agent. Then you can start competing. So give away half of your money, give away stock, and offer incredible tech stack, plus offer 100 hours of training a week to your agents by world-class agents that are all at least making $250,000 or more a year in order to even be qualified to teach. You start offering things like that to your agents and you'll be competing. If you can't do it, then just join us, partner with us, and you'll make more money than you've ever made if you play it right.
Yeah.
You got to move the pieces right. You have to understand the game of how to, unlock levels and get that revenue share. But once you understand that, it's not hard to understand. It becomes like a game, and it's fun to play. For me, real estate's fun again, being here at eXp.
Especially when you're sitting there making the money that you are in a beautiful under, in
nice.
Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
It's
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Caribbean right here.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I appreciate you taking the time. I mean, you gave me a few actual nuggets that are good comebacks, or what am I trying to say?
Objection
Responses
answer.
back to, objections. Thank you. Yeah. So
Can you go over really quickly the process? And I'm sure you probably sent the
Sure.
video too, but the process of there's somebody that you'd like to gift this opportunity to.
right.
And how does that begin? Like, what are the steps to that?
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, let me share my screen again, because I think that's actually what I wanted to go through next. And we think alike, so that's the way that's the natural progression. So let's go here, and let me I'm going to go to a website that I put together. It's knolly.com/40, which stands for 40, because 40 is how you max out your first line. That's a whole nother conversation. It's just another conversation. We could have that conversation today, but here's the 4 simple steps, and we highly recommend that you follow these. When I first started at eXp, and most of us that are influencers, when we joined eXp, we were a little bit cocky, and we were like, I was like, I'm Knolly Williams. I'm doing it. I don't care about you. I know how to attract people. Just leave me alone with that crap. And so I did it for about 18 months my way, and it just was not as, in other words, I wish I'd have gone back and just did it the way that everybody teaches, which is what works. And this is number one, you make a big list, and we say like 50 to 100 names, write them down. And if you need a memory jogger, we actually have some of those, and we have here's some steps and scripts and things like that. So make a big list, as big as you can, and start with 10. Like, start with, okay, I'm going to write down 10 people that I want to gift with this opportunity, share with this opportunity. Then number 2 is you reach out to them. Okay, and reach out could be different for different people. Some people prefer to send a video, text, or a voice text, or a call. Hey, I've got this opportunity. I really want you to look at it. And then, see if they come back and say, sure, let's talk about it. So you reach out, make a big list, reach out. Number three, you watch the model explained with them. Okay, now what I advise and what we typically advise is don't try to explain the model, because the model is very difficult to explain. It's hard for me to explain. And I know I tried it one time early on to try to sit down and explain it to someone. We have slide decks where you can go through and explain it if you choose to do it that way. But it took me 2 hours to try to explain eXp, because it's just so different than what they're used to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what we recommend now is just watch the model explain with them, and don't reach out to them and say, hey, let's watch a video together. That's weird. Like, okay, should I bring popcorn? I mean, like, that's weird. Just reach out to them and say, hey, when do you have about 20 or 30 minutes for me to go through the model with you and just explain to you what we have to offer? And they'll tell you, okay, could you do next Tuesday at 3, or would Wednesday at 4 be better for you? And they say, okay, well, I could do. And then when they get together with you, you say, hey, look, I've got a couple options. I can explain everything to you myself, and we'll be here for about 90 minutes to 2 hours, because there's a lot to it. And or my business partner, he made a video where he explains it in about 30 minutes. Which do you prefer? You want to watch the 30-minute video, or you want me to try to explain it in the next 90 minutes? They're always going to opt for the 30-minute video. Okay.
Yeah,
say,
of
okay,
course.
well, let's just watch the video together. And then you basically watch the video with them. Now, you could send the video. That's what I did early on. I just would send the video out, and your response rate is going to be so much less, because
Sure.
people don't watch it. They just got busy. They skim through it. They're cooking dinner while they watch it. If you watch it with them, you actually have about 50% of the people that watch the video sign up. So for me, like I enrolled 160 people in my first 2 years. But I had to have 320 conversations to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I had a lot of conversations with people. But you watch the model explain with them, and then you book them on a 3-way call. So they're going to have questions like you have. Don't try to answer the questions for them. Even if you know the answers, we say, hey, you're asking some really good questions. My business partner, Danielle, my business partner, George, my business partner, depending on the caliber of agent, at some point, George will be doing them, or what we encourage is that your direct sponsor does it, but Julie's not. She couldn't do it yet.
Not yet,
as
no.
a 3-way. But anybody can learn the 3-way strategy. It's not really. You would think of it as a senior partner, and that's what I say. Hey, I'd like you to meet with one of my senior partners, because the whole purpose of it is, it takes the pressure off of you to be the closer. And by the way, that person's not even really the closer. They're just there to answer questions and answer objections, things like that, objection handling. Any questions that they have, and typically on the 3-way call, I'll ask, first of all, there's a way that the 3-way call plays out. It's like 8 steps to it. I'm going to edify you. You're going to edify me. I'm going to edify you when I get on, and I'm going to stop. You're going to introduce your person. And then at that point, you stop talking, like you are no longer part of the conversation, because we're not 2 people tagging up. Otherwise, it feels like 2 against 1.
Yeah.
It's just you brought them there, and then you're in the background. And then it's me and that individual, or Danielle and that individual, or George and that individual having a conversation. What questions do you have? And that's really it. So you make a big list, reach out, watch the model explain with them. And then after we watch the model explain, I always ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, after you've seen this, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, I'm never going to join eXp. 10, I'm ready to sign up today. Where would you say you are? And they're going to tell you, I'm probably a 7, or I'm an 8, or I'm a 6. And then what I do is I say, well, what would make it a 10? And they'll say, well, if eXp had this, it could be a 10. Okay, anything else? And I just write it down.
Mhm.
this, until I have everything out of them. You know, 4 things, whatever it is. And then I say, well, hold on a minute. Let me see if I can get one of my senior partners on. Not today, but if I could get 15 minutes, you know, Kevin is pretty busy. I mean, he's running he sells 400 homes a year. He runs a team of over 2,000 people, okay, in his group. And he's a busy guy, but if I could manage to get 15% minutes of his time, even if you never join eXp, do you think it would be valuable for you to talk to someone that does, you know, hundreds of millions a year in real estate, sells 400 homes, sells over a home a day? Would that be valuable to have 15 minutes with that person, whether you join us or not? And they're usually going to say, yeah, I'd love to have it.
Mhm.
Okay, well, let me hold on a second. And then I'll pull up his Calendly. We all work on Calendlys, you know, most of us. And so I'll pull up his Calendly, see when he has, you know, 15 minutes. And I'll just book. I'll say, okay, it looks like I can get something on Wednesday, or is Tuesday better for you at this time? And then I book it right then. And then now I've got them on the next call. You know, some people some people, like I've talked to some and they're like, I'm a 12. It's like, okay, well,
Yesterday.
you know, yeah. And then the other question that I asked him, I say, you know, at this point, are you aware of what the next steps are? Or would you like me to share a few options with you?
Okay.
Okay. Because sometimes they'll say, well, what's the next step? Now, that's always a good reply. But if they don't say that, I say, are you aware of the next steps? Or would you like me to share a couple of options? And they'll say, yeah, let's look at some options for next steps. Okay. Well, the next step is I'd like for you to talk to one of my senior partners. This is so-and-so, and here's what you know, I'd really build them up.
Yeah,
Big.
sure,
Hey,
yeah.
if I could possibly get 10 minutes of their time or 15, would that be valuable for you, you know, for your career, whether you join us or not? And then another option would be, I could say, or if you're ready to join right now, you know, I could, if you've just got a couple of questions, I could answer those and we can, you know, go ahead and get you enrolled so you can move on to what you know. So it just depends on where they are. You know what I'm saying?
I've
Now,
got about 5 people. I got about 5 people that I think are wanting to come on board. So
nice. That's awesome. That's awesome.
2 of them, 2 of them are getting their real estate license. But they want, you know, subsidized income or additional income,
Sure.
more so than making it a full career. So, and selling 100% of the time. So that'll be good. And then a team, I think I have a team that wants to join in North Carolina. So
Nice. Good for you.
yeah, I just got to organize everything in my thoughts, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And well, what I say is if you're going after this, work on getting 25 people signed up within the next 18 months. If you can get 25 in the next 18 months, 25 directs, I mean, and that's how Curtis Johnson did it. That, you know, he got 20. That's how I did it. I got 25, my first 18, Kevin and Fred. That's kind of the magic sauce, the magic number. Because you want to build faster than slower. You know what I'm saying? Because you got momentum will be on your side. You know?
Look at sweetie, you don't need to tell me that I want to grow faster than slower. Let me tell you right now. So
yeah.
yeah,
I have one gal that joined me and she's only recruited one person, but she has 30 people in her organization. And she just joined, it's not even been a year. And so, but the thing is, and so she's making 18 grand a year. I mean, she has a potential to make 18 grand a year just from recruiting one person, but she has to unlock those other levels to realize. And if you get 25, and they're all qualifying, which means to qualify, that means that they make at least 5,000 in commission every 6 months. So if you got a person that will make at least $10,000 a year, 10,000 a year, that's like one deal every 6 months. If they're at least doing one deal every 6 months, they'll be a qualifying agent. And if you get 25 of those, it unlocks 6 levels for you, which is you don't even have to really worry about unlocking most of the like levels 5, 6, and 7 until several years in. You know,
it's just gonna happen.
Yeah, I only have one person on my level 7 and one on my level 6 after almost 4 years. So anyway, trust me on this. Get to 25 within 18 months on your first
Okay.
line,
Okay,
and you'll
a
have,
good challenge.
yeah, you'll
On
have,
a
That's
mission.
easy.
And we're here to help you. You're
I
not at
know.
it alone, which is the unique thing about eXp.
yeah. Anytime you have a question and you don't, and you know, you can just, I like to do voice text, you know, because if I'm on the beach or if I'm wherever I'm at, I get the text, I listen to it, and then my thoughts go, you know, I'm going and going, I'm saying, yeah, let me, and then boom, within 24 hours, I'll get back with you. Okay, Donna, here's what we're going to do on this situation. We
Okay.
need to get that person in front of Curtis or who, anybody in our organization. You've seen our organization tree.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So any of those people will do a three-way with us. But it has to warrant it. Like if you bring in somebody that's got, okay, they got 100 agents on their brokerage. Okay, well, let's get Chuck Fazio who had 900. Because that's who they're going to respect. They're not going to respect me. You know what I'm saying? I've written books and all that, but they don't care about that. They want, okay, this guy, oh, he did 900. Okay, well, I would have talked to him. Or I can get Frank Gray or somebody like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's say it's a person that wants to have an expansion team. And they say, well, we want to have 5 teams across the country. Okay, well, let's get you on with Kevin Kaufman or Fred Weaver, because that's what they do. They have 30 some agents in five cities. Okay. And they manage the whole thing, and they'll give you their blueprint on how to do it.
Yeah.
Really, super easy.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's with the right person for the three-way, depending on that individual.
Yeah. Well, I think that this team is uniquely blessed from the upline. Just even when George and I, or I think Danielle actually told me that she knew you, and it was so surprising that you're so accessible. You know, from all the things that, and not so much just you, it's also the people about, right?
Absolutely,
That
yeah.
they are so accessible to someone who just got their real estate license today. Okay, now what, right? So, yeah, yeah, I'm excited about it for sure.
Yeah, and we have a family meeting every Thursday. So that's where I encourage agents to, of course, they can always post it on our workplace group and we'll all chime in. But if they have a question that they really want to bend my ear on, I have like 30 minutes toward the back of every, session, typically 30, sometimes I go a little over, where I just do Q&A, answer their questions and things like that. And the state groups are so, I mean, the being plugged in here, you have to plug in, that's the thing. But like our Texas state group has over 10,000 members. The Florida state group is a bunch too. I don't know how many is in Florida, but there's tons. Yeah. And so as they start plugging into those groups as newer agents, in fact, one of our mentorship masters did a video on why she believes, as a fairly new agent, she's been in less than a year, that eXp is the best choice for new agents. And it's very interesting the way she puts a lot of stuff. I'll send you a copy of that. I'll send you that video.
Great, thank you. Yeah,
video.
I've got two people that are actually in the process of doing the classes to become a licensed agent. So that would be a great way to send to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
I'm looking for it right now, actually. Juanita, here it is. I wonder if it's on her. It's on her. Yeah, eXp, the best real estate brokerage for new agents.
This the other day, and I didn't watch it yet.
Here, I'm gonna let me. Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I thought it was really insightful, very insightful. It's like 16 minutes, but somebody that's interested, it's definitely worth the watch. And she's actually an actress. An actor, I think is what they call him now.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was not PC.
Gender
Yeah.
neutral.
Yeah. Yeah, her and her partner are both actors that joined us here in our group.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Put that in the chat. Yeah.
So, what is, and Danielle said, as soon as I signed up, don't get overwhelmed with all of the stuff that you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God.
It's a lot.
It was. So I guess from somebody who's just starting out to recruit,
Yeah.
what is the very, well, I guess you answered it, right? Down, go through those 3 little steps or 4 little steps on them. But what's the most important thing to take away from everything to start being a recruiter for the businesses?
Let me tell you, it's a great question. Let me tell you how the big recruiters did it. We looked at, and I'm not a big recruiter here yet, but I always include myself in that list because I'm headed, you know,
You're on the way.
what we did was we really looked at revenue share as a business. Okay, because it's a separate business. And as such, we allocated time toward it. You know, we basically looked, and what we teach is that you want to allocate about 4 to 5 hours a week to revenue share, unless you're really looking at it as a business. And then remember back, you might have, I know I had to go way back to think about this, but remember when you used to work 2 jobs? And have you ever had a time when you worked 3 jobs? I used to do that. I used to work 3 jobs. Like, so I had a job and then I get off my job and go work another job. And then I had a weekend job. And so the way I looked at agent attraction was that was my other job. Like that was my second job. And
That's a good idea.
yeah, if you're in production right now, don't go away from that. Become more productive. Okay. Speaking to those of you, you know, if you're listening to this, you're in production. Don't give up on that. But think about, okay, now I got another job for 18 months. It's like it's a term. It's going to be. Brent did it for 8 months. Okay, he just got to his 40 and then he quit. Now he's got 20,000 almost in his group, and he's doing crazy stuff. Right, he's doing crazy stuff. So and by the way, he's a believer. He loves Jesus. It's incredible how many of us, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but Glenn Sanford was a Seventh-day Adventist.
He was or is?
I don't know if he still is practicing Seventh-day Adventist, worshiping on Sabbath, but him and his wife met at the SDA church. You know what I'm saying? Just like
I
my
know
wife.
that. It's
My
so
wife and I
strange.
met at the SDA
Yeah.
church. So
Wow.
the background is Christ, you know, on this company, you know, it's Christ centered. I mean, he's still a believer, but I'm not sure if he's in the SDA.
No, I get it. Yeah.
And so the point is, look at it like, okay, I have this 4-hour-a-day gig. That's what I did. I just gave it 4 hours a day, and it was tiring.
A day or a week?
I did it every day.
Okay.
because to me, agent attraction was going to be my career. I saw myself in Puerto Rico looking at the ocean and things like that, and I knew that if I really, back then I would work 2 jobs as a young man, because I needed to eat, and I was making $1,200, $1,500 a month total from all my jobs. Now it was like, okay, I'm going to do this because I want to have a lifestyle that nobody else has. Because I look at it like this: when you look at Remax has been around, 40 years, whatever it's been. Keller Williams, 30 plus years. We got a 30-year ride on this thing. Okay. Right now we're at 86,000 people at eXp, and Glenn Sanford has a vision of 500,000 within the next 5 years. That means we're only 16% built out, 16%. 80% of our growth has not happened yet. Okay. It's going to happen through you, Donna, and you, Danielle, and George. And by the way, probably 80% of the real estate that will be sold 5 or 6 years from now is going to be by people that don't even have their license yet. Okay. This is a turnover. This is the industry. This is where the industry is going, and we're already here. So if you set yourself up properly, which I did about 24 months. And I'm set up for the next 30 years, however long, I'll never be making less than I make now, which is, right around the 20,000 a month. And I'll never make less than that. It'll be 40 and then 60 and then 100. And it's just going to keep growing, whether I do another 3 or 4 minutes of work. So the point is, that would be my advice for you. Here's what Brent Gove did. Now, I don't advise this. Just telling you what he did. By the way, he never told anybody what he did until after it worked, which is not.
Who is it?
Brent Gove. Brent Gove right now, he's making over $1 million a month in revenue share. But here's what he did. he had a team at Keller Williams, and he joined. By the way, he came by way of a cold call. Okay, Sheila Fageron had met Brent Gove at an event years ago, and remembered that she liked the speaker, and she met him in an elevator. He was on his way into the elevator. She spoke to him for about 20 to 30 seconds, and that's the extent of their knowing each other. Okay, so she calls him up one day. She says, "Hey, Brent, this is Sheila Fageron. Do you remember me? I was at the such and such." Of course, he didn't remember her, and he was like, "I'm sorry, but you know," he's like, "Well, I've got an opportunity for you that, you know, it may not be for you, but I just want you to look at it and see what you think." And, you know, he looked at it, and the rest is history. You know, he himself recruited less than I recruited, actually, but he recruited the right people, and his organization's over 20,000. He's making over $1 million a month in revenue share. Now, what he did, though, because when he looked at the opportunity, he thought that it was such a big opportunity that he took a bank loan. Okay, listen to me. He took a bank loan of $150,000, and he quit selling real estate. Basically, he just said, I'm going to roll the dice on this. And for 8 months, he did nothing but recruit. Like he recruited, and all he did was he went through his phone. Like he went through his phone, and that was his memory jogger. He doesn't use any technology. He has an 8.5 by 11, like a big chief, yellow notepad. That's his system. That's his system. Follow up and everything. And he said he went through his list, and he just started calling people, "Hey," you know, and by the time he got to the G's in the alphabet, he had already got his 40 people, and then he just stopped. And now he's making, what is that? 60,000 a day, something like that. He's making, or 50, some crazy number, more than you need, you know, but and he's also a follower of Christ. He loves Jesus too. A great guy, beautiful man. And so, so this is what he did. So the point being, you want to treat this like a career. If you just want to dabble in it, like what most agents are doing, then we say, hey, just do it like 3 or 4 hours a week, and you're still going to build a, you know, 3,000 to 4,000 a month residual income side business, you know. But if you really want to be serious about this, just treat it like your second job, like you know, for the next 18 months, you got a second job, and just treat it that way, and it will reward you beyond your wildest dreams. Go after recruiters. Try to recruit recruiters, you know, people that you can go after new agents too, but don't spend the majority of your time there.
Team leaders,
you know, big thinkers, people that have 4 or 5 people on their team. If they can attract 5 people, they're a recruiter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I really like, I love that you simplified it, right? We all have in real estate, unfortunately, not all, but we all kind of start off with having a second job, if you will, to get things started. And so just parceling out that and saying, look, just
hold on.
George
He's
interrupted you, Donna.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
He's making $1 million a month.
Yeah. All right.
$1 million a month, not $1 million a year.
That's right.
Yeah, $1 million a month. But
Brett
most people
Grove,
can wrap $1 million a month.
that would be worth $150,000 loan.
Yeah,
right?
it was worth it. He rolled the dice a day. He's making 33,000 a day, you know. So what do? You buy plane tickets, right?
Right.
That's another
Right.
story.
So I do appreciate the fact that if you simplify and say, yes, this is my second job, right?
Sure.
And so how much hours you want to put into your second job, if you will.
Right.
So I do like that whole concept. And I really want to be a person. The thing that I did like about Keller Williams is that I had a good experience with an agent, and they then gave my name to the recruiter. And then the recruiter did it all. And I really like that part of it. And I really want to be able to be that skilled to be able to do that for the people that I bring on board. So, because that takes some of the pressure off and of them, and more, they're more enthusiastic. They'd be more open to give me a name than if they had to go after it themselves. So,
Sure.
Well, and I know, and Knolly had said this yesterday, you know, are you open-minded to hearing about an opportunity? Open-minded.
Yeah.
Who's gonna say they're not open-minded, right?
Well, I
Right.
usually ask, like, if I'm asking a person, like say I did a deal with them, I just say, you know, do you consider yourself an open-minded
There
person?
you go.
And they're gonna say yes. Well, would you consider looking at, you know, this opportunity that, you know, oh, well, I was talking to one guy, we're doing a deal together. And he was, this was like the first couple of weeks I was at eXp, and David Speedy. And I said, David, how are you, do you consider yourself an open-minded person? He says, yeah, man, I'm pretty open-minded. I said, well, would you be open-minded enough to look at the eXp opportunity? Oh, well, oh, wait, well, you just said you're open. Wait a minute. You know, so they have to read. He's like, well, I would, Knolly, I just got to tell you, but I love Keller Williams, and I don't like eXp because of this. And I said, well, actually, that's not how eXp works. It works this way. Oh, really? I said, and he says, well, but I heard you can't take the revenue share, like you can't will that to your spouse or whatever. I said, actually, you can will it. It's a willable asset. And I have a number of ways that you can do it. I can show you. Oh, you can? Well, I always, so then he had one other objective. I said, well, actually, that's not true either. This is really how it works. So he had been lied to by his team leader, whoever, and he had publicly gotten up in team meetings and poo-pooed eXp to the agents, David Speedy, because he was a trainer. And once he found out that he had been lied to, he joined eXp like within 3 days, you know, because he was open-minded enough. You know, I just got
Yeah.
that. But that's how I typically, and I like your thought pattern too, about being the resource for your agents and taking it off of them. We do try to make it easy though. It's like you reach out, you offer to meet with them and play the video. Like anybody can do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's duplicatable. But also as you're bringing people in, the one way to recruit around the idea that you're talking about is, let's say you're bringing in a team. Well, that's the best opportunity for them to at least give you 10 names of people that like, and here's what I would say is, listen to me. Let's just make up a name. Let's say, hey, Charles, listen to me. When you're joining eXp, there's going to be a lot of eyes on you in social media. Okay. Who would you not want to find out that you joined eXp through social media? Like who would it be that, man, I should have told them, like I should have let them know. It's like, man, he didn't even do me a courtesy call. Like I found out, like, just, you know, people, and then they'll tell you, yeah, sort of, you know, I've got people that I've partnered with over the years, and it would be kind of not nice for them to find out, you know, like as your friend, you would want to say, hey, I just want you to know this before it hits social media. You see what I'm saying? So that's a softer way for them to reach out to their people. It's like, hey, I just want to let you know, I'm looking at making a move, and I want you to know before it hits social media, just so you can know what I'm doing, because I care about you, and I don't want you finding out about through social media. And, you know, I haven't made the move yet. I'm in the process, or I can still change my mind at any time. Would you mind looking at the model for me and helping me to poke any holes in it? Maybe I'm making a bad decision. Maybe there's something that I'm not seeing, but I don't see it, but maybe you'll see it. Would you do me a favor and look at this with me just to make sure I'm not making the wrong decision? And a lot of times they'll do that as a courtesy. And by the way, that's how some of the biggest recruiters that we've gotten into the company got here. I'm thinking of Randy Bird right now. He has over 3,000 people. And Brent Gove just said, look, man. And Randy was like, man, I'm not interested in that. He said, man, I know you're not interested. I'm just asking you as a friend, as a courtesy to me, if you would just look at this to see if I'm making a mistake. Randy was like, okay, man, I'll look at it with you, you know, to see if you know. And when Randy looked at it, he was like, damn. And actually Brent did this with there was like 12 people that were his hit list, like all team leaders, people. 11 of them are already at eXp, you know, under Brent, because he did use this strategy. So so that's a way for you to get, you know, hey, write down 10 people that you don't want to find out through social media, and then you can reach out to them that way as well.
Good. Okay, excited.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, extremely. And the helpful part of it is just just chunking it down and making it easy instead of
Sure.
thinking
be.
about the full process, right? And,
Sure.
yeah, so,
And there are
Good.
scripts around
Yeah.
all of this too, if you
Sure.
want to lean on that as well.
Yeah,
okay.
don't feel like you have to have all the answers. Just write down the questions that they have. And but you only
So-
want to do the three-way after they've watched the model explain. They have to have seen that, you know.
Yeah, got it. So then I should call the people that I said Nolly's gonna call you personally and say, no, we have to postpone that.
Yes.
Yeah, just tell them, Knolly, Knolly, we're gonna have a conversation with Knolly, but before we do that,
No,
He
yeah,
asked- answer any
perfect.
questions. that you
Or
might
he
have,
asked
open
if
up any
if
questions.
we don't ever say watch the video. Don't even just erase that from your thinking. Just say, let's review the model together. Maybe we can
Like
do that. Before we meet with Knolly, let's go ahead and review the model together.
Yeah.
And it would take about 20 to 30 minutes. And truthfully, like Brent would only schedule 15-minute meeting. I don't
Mhm.
like this strategy personally, but this is how he did it. He would schedule a 15-minute meeting and the video is 30 minutes. And he would say, now listen, if at any point, we're going to go 15 minutes. If you hate it, we'll just stop at 15 minutes, shut it off, and we're done. But if
Mhm.
you like what you're saying, the video, it goes about 30 minutes, you know?
Okay, yeah.
So basically at any time, if they absolutely, and there was a few people that were like, stop, I don't like, and those are the people we don't want to be in business with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't see it because some people really don't see it, you know?
Yeah,
Most people, like 90% are going to be like, damn, they're going to have insomnia. We call it EXP insomnia. You know, once they see the model, it's like, you can't unsee it and you're like, crap. And there's only 6 reasons why people stay stuck. I have a video on that and I'll send that to you. But there's only 6 objections that I've ever seen to
Mhm.
join an EXP. And so I cover those in a training.
Good.
I call it 6 reasons why agents stay stuck. I'll share that with you as well,
good.
just so you can kind of understand the psychology around why they stay where they are, you know. But outside of that, yeah, I think this is a great place for you to launch from.
Well, I am I'm just pasting that, so I don't forget to paste that. I'm very excited about being the recruiter, really building the
Yes.
recruiting side of it. Because
Absolutely.
that's the piece that I miss the most, is building a brokerage as opposed to just selling one-on-one transactions. So I'm just going to take the 3 years of investing in that other area and now move it to investing it in my business. So
And it's for you, not
Yep.
for anybody else. It's yours.
Absolutely.
I know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How
Very
how
good.
awesome is that?
Yep. Looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, Donna.
Okay.
We love you. And
I love you too.
I look forward to seeing you shine and rise.
I look forward to seeing you again in person, where we can celebrate the rise of all of us. So,
Right. Yes.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Take care.
all right, thanks,
Yeah,
everyone.
brother, when we get back.
Alrighty. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.